quick tutorial for how to use the wedding day planner. So if you've ever seen a Gantt chart, those are normally built in order to manage projects that are going to take, a couple years, maybe a few months, maybe a few weeks. It's longer term projects. But this Gantt chart is built in order to help manage a single day project. In this case, a wedding. And you may need to. There's a lot going on at a wedding, a lot of things to coordinate. But now this can be changed as far as the scale. So I want to show you here. You've got, say, 6 o'clock, 6:10, 6:20, 6:30, 6:40, 6:50, 7 o'clock. So now we can change this, and we can go even minute by minute. I'm going to change this to 1 right here. You can see that it's going to do 6, 6:01, 6:02, 6:03, 6:04, 6:05, 6:06. You see, and it goes on and on and on. And there might be certain parts of the day where you've got critical things happening. You need to manage several people doing several things, all within, say, 5, 6, 7 minutes. And it's very important that everything happens in there like clockwork. You can do those types of things on a minute by minute. And then maybe later in the day you say, well, let me switch it back now to start looking at things only every 10 minutes. Okay, so you click this and then it'll take it back to, say, 10 minutes. You can, sometimes maybe you look at it every 15 minutes, that type of thing. You can see how it just automatically updates the time scale. Everything automatically updates, all the bars, everything. And it just changes all this. So now this is 15, 6, 6:15, 6:30, 6:45, 7 o'clock, this kind of gives you a higher level view of what's happening. And then as far as what you're highlighting here, like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, all that's being controlled by this. 0 makes it highlight the hours. You can put it on whatever times you want to emphasize. Maybe you're doing something you want to look at it every 12 minutes, maybe something else every 8, every 5, every 10, every 15, whatever you want to do. But in this case, I'll just say 30 minutes, and you'll see it all update automatically. So 6:30, 7:30, 8:30, 9:30. So that's that part of it. Now, all these places where you see this color blue, these are all inputs. So all these 2 rows, this time right here is the only time that you input. All the other times are automatically updated and calculated. The durations of each task you put here. Controlling step, type, lag time. We'll come back to these in a few moments, and then you can see the completion status. Whereas if you don't put a check mark, it's this color. If you check it off, it grays it out. Okay, so now let's run through and look at a couple things, run through this example. So for the first item here, we say, okay, the venue has become available, and Jenny is the person that we are our point of contact for the venue, and she says that it's going to be available at 6 a.m. So this is where we put 6 a.m. and you can see that's the start time right here. Now, if we change that, by the way, and we say 7 a.m., you can see this is automatically updates right over here. All right, so as the beginning start of the time of the day there. All right, I'll just put it back to 6, and then the duration. A lot of times tasks have durations, like it takes 5 minutes to park the car, whatever. But in this case, the duration, we're just going to say it's 0 because it's just kind of a moment in time where it's like, okay, the venue is now available. We can start doing everything else. So that's why there's 0 here. And then we've got, tables and chairs. The next thing we've got Mike as our contact at the tables and chairs company. He's going to start unloading his truck, or what we call load in. He's going to start doing that, unloading those tables and chairs at about 6:10 because we give him a 10-minute lag time right here. But if we change this, say, to 0, you're going to see this go to 6 o'clock. Let me do that. And then you can see that just goes to 6 o'clock. All these bars update automatically to show that they shift to the left. But you can see now that we say, okay, Mike is going to begin unloading the truck at exactly 6 o'clock. And then he is going to be unloading those tables and chairs for about an hour and a half. And then the controlling step is here. This 1 right here, this corresponds to this 1 right here. What this means is that before Mike can start unloading his truck, the venue has to be available, which is this one. So this step 1 right here, venue available, that's this 1 right here. The relationship is finished to start. So what that is talking about. We'll talk more about that in an example in just a second, okay? And then the lag time, we already saw that part of it. All right, let's go to the next item here. So the next item is tables and chairs. They're going to start doing the setup per the plan. So Mike, again, is our contact from that company. And he says it's going to take them about 2.5 hours in order to read the plans, figure out where they want these chairs set up and all the tables set up, where exactly they want everything. And it's going to take them about 2.5 hours to get it all set up. The controlling step is step number 2. So this step right here, number 2, corresponds to this step right here. And what that's saying is that before he can start putting those tables and chairs where they go, he first has to unload them off the truck. And that's why this is the controlling step for that. And then the relationship, you'll see it's the second option now. So there's 2 options here. You saw the finish to start one already. What that basically means is a relationship like you have to finish laying a foundation before you can start doing the framing. That would be a finish to start relationship. A start to start relationship means that you have to, and these are industry type terms. You'll hear these types of things with project management and schedule management and things like that. These are common terms that you hear in the industry. But the start-to-start relationship means that you have to start a task before you can start another task. And what that means in this case, in this example, is that you have to start unloading the tables and chairs before you can start placing them where they go. You don't have to wait until you completely pull all the tables and chairs off the truck before you start placing them where they need to go, but you at least need to start pulling them off the truck. So that's where this start-to-start relationship comes in. And basically what you can see happening here is that it's what's happening is the start time is what's affected by this. So the start time here is when you have a start-to-start relationship, the start time starts when this controlling step starts. Now, the reason why it's not exactly 6 o'clock is because we have a lag time here. Let me put it to 0 and you'll see that it'll go to 6 a.m. So if I put it to 0, you can see now it's taking that time as the start time. The reason why I put say a 30-minute lag time in there, for example, is, say that it's going to take Mike, about 30 minutes to get a few off of the truck. Then he's got to read the plan, drink his coffee, figure out where he is, look at this new venue, what does it look like, and try to figure out, okay, what's the plan say? Where are those tables supposed to go? Where are those chairs supposed to go? Oh, okay, I see now. All right. And then so he can start, he doesn't have to completely pull all the tables and chairs off, but he needs about 30 minutes before he can start putting them where they go. That's where that 30-minute lag time comes in there. And then you've got, say, for example, then your decorators, they can start loading in but before they can load in, and our contact, by the way, is Michelle. Before she can start loading in, Mike has got to be completely done setting up the tables and the chairs. So that's where this is coming from, the controlling step 3 right here. This is this controlling step right here, number 3. So we say finish to start. So Mike has to be completely done before Michelle can start. But you can see that the end time for Mike here is in step 3, which we have here in step 3 here. You can see the end time is 9 o'clock there, and so that's Michelle's start time, okay, because we have a finish to start relationship, so that's why this is starting at 9 o'clock right here. It's going to take her 45 minutes in order just to get all of her decorations off of the truck, and so that's why you're seeing that this is now 9:45, is taking this duration and adding it to the start time here. So she'll be done loading off, getting everything off of her truck by about 9:45, and then she can start step number 5, which is setting up per the plan for all of the decorations. So she can start at exactly 9:45, and then it's going to take her about 3 hours in order to do that. So now we're putting about 12:45 here, and then the caterer can come, but she's not really depending on the decorator to be completely done before she starts. Her relationship is more that the decorator just needs to basically have loaded in. She's gotten all of her stuff loaded in, because then she'll be out of the way of the dock, and then the caterer can come in with her truck and use that dock, and that's why it's basically coming to get a hold of that dock and start loading out her materials. And there's a little bit of a delay here because she doesn't need to use it immediately. So that and plus she wants to prepare the food. In this case, for this event, she wants to prepare the food over at her shop and get it all ready. And then she'll come in a few hours later, not too long before the event starts. Now, if you have an event where the caterer wants to come in, bring their equipment, show up earlier in the day, you can customize this in order to kind of show that, and them getting their equipment out and starting to cook, and then having it ready in the hot plates and all that. Any of those things can be customized and added in here, and those relationships set up for that event. And you can, what you can do is you can set up templates that are applicable to, say, a party of 50 or a party of 200, or a guest list of 2,000. Okay, just a big event. Some of these things will have similar type tasks, but some of them will either take a longer or shorter time. So even, for example, your tables and chairs, maybe Mike could load out a 200 person event, tables and chairs, in an hour and a half. But if it's 2,000 people, maybe that's going to take them 12 hours. So you can have, and maybe you've got multiple docs. Maybe they can use different docs, and so yeah, you can have your template set up and customize it, for different crowd sizes, for different venues that have different resources that you can use at different times. If you only got one dock, then for example, the people have to wait until that one dock is let go before you can come and load out another vendor. So then just to run through these examples a little bit more. So now, say for example, you have your florist that's going to come, and Susan is our contact there. She has to wait until the decorators are all set up before she comes in. She doesn't want to come in and set up the flowers until they're done. So that's why this controlling step here is 5. That corresponds to this 5 right here. So there's a finish to start type relationship. It's going to take her an hour and a half, so that puts her being done around 2:15. And then you've got the limousine. They're going to pick up the bride, and they're doing that early in the morning. You can see that happening here at 6:05 in the morning. And they're going to have the bride over here. Then we can start talking about the hair and the makeup. You've got the cake vendor coming. When are they coming? What's the relationship there? Well, you've got your photographer, your videographer, the groomsmen. You got the photographs taking place here. You need to check on the decoration status and check on the catering status. Make sure those are going smoothly around these times. Then you got the DJ coming. Guests are arriving around this time. You got the wedding ceremony going on here. And you got the limo ride to the reception. You got the bride and groom, their grand entrance, the welcome speech. You got your first course. Now this is coming into play with your caterer. You got your toasts. Second course, you got dancing. That's what your DJ is going to take care of this. Now you can see Joe is taking care of this first dance. He's also up here, arriving right here. You've got other dances taking place. Joe's going to DJ that, take care of that. And then you've got the cake cutting, and Vivian is taking care of this part of it. You can see that she's also up here loading in at 7:45. Then you've got the final dance. Joe's also going to take care of that. The bride and groom are going to exit, and Michelle's going to take care of that. So you can see that you can really set up your relationships between a project that's taking place on like a 1 day type thing, maybe 2 days, type deal. If you need to come in a little early, 1, 2 days, maybe even over 3 days. If you've got a really big event, you need guys showing up 2 days before, 1 day before, to really get everything set up, because there's just not time to get it done all in 1 day. And you've got a lot of things happen, a lot of moving parts, a lot of things that depend on other things, and you need to be able to track those, like we showed earlier, even on a minute-by-minute basis, or every 5 minutes, every 15 minutes. You can automatically update this right here, change the scale at different, maybe over that 3-day event, you're going to be monitoring and doing things every 30 minutes. You can change the time scale to 30 minutes, so you can take care of those tasks that need to happen. And you can see your start times over here, and your end times over here, so you can just know, okay, what needs to happen, what needs to be happening now. And you can also get a visual of what's happening in the chart here, where you say, okay, it's 10:30 right now my time. What needs to be happening? This needs to be happening. This needs to be happening. This needs to be happening right now. And if it's not, you can go manage it and figure out why it's not happening. Similar thing, it's 3:30 over here. This and this need to be happening. If they're not, why are they not happening? Because if you got one person not doing their job, then they may be holding up other people who are not going to be able to do their job because they haven't completed their tasks first, and that might just snowball into a bigger problem and cause problems. You don't want that to happen. So this is a management tool. It helps to make sure everything's running smoothly. And so, while you're managing the event, sometimes you might have it on a 15-minute time scale. There might be times where, you only need to really look at it every, say every hour, so you can, pop this down to an hour, and really you can just check in every hour. These are the things that need to be happening at 7 o'clock. This has got to be happening at 1. Then, at other times, maybe you've got an event for some reason you need to track it every 8 minutes, right? So all those things need to happen every 8 minutes, right? So that would be and then you've got another, say that you did that for, the 2 days before, and then the day of, maybe you need to only check it every 15 minutes. Now you can change it to 15 minutes, start seeing, okay, now we're at 12:30. Is this happening? These kind of things. So you can use it to really help you to manage and make sure that your project is going smoothly over that 3-day, 2-day, 1-day type situation where you've got a lot of moving parts, and you want to make sure that everything's going smooth.